Welcome back, everybody, to KGW News. And look who's here. Oregon Senator Ron Wyden joining us in the studio. Such a big story. We're so glad you're here to talk about the impeachment trial that's coming up. Really a somber and historic time in D.C. You and all the other senators sworn in as jurors just yesterday. How are you feeling as you get ready to hear of his trial starting Tuesday as a juror?
It was just a heck of a week. I was managing the big trade bill, and that's very important to Oregon. About 1 out of 4 jobs revolves around international trade. And then a few minutes later, I was in my seat with my colleagues, in effect, becoming a juror. And what I can tell you is you think about what the founding fathers would say about all this. And they always said country first, and I would basically say, as I thought about it, let's work for a just outcome rather than a political outcome.
What about witnesses? A lot of Democrats want to see 4 witnesses called, including John Bolton, the former security advisor for President Trump. And then the Republicans say, well, then they should be able to call witnesses that President Trump might want to testify, like Hunter Biden, possibly the whistleblower. Do you think we'll hear from the witnesses?
My sense is the witness question is going to revolve around the fact that now basically every single day there is some new document or revelation that comes to light. And I think that if there are votes on witnesses, and my hope is that Mitch McConnell and Chuck Schumer can work this out so it doesn't come to that. My sense is that senators will ultimately say, if more information comes out, history isn't going to judge me well if I duck on the question of making sure we get all the information.
I want to ask you about something that is big news today about the Saudi government. After a lot of work by you and Senator Merkley, the FBI released some classified documents. They declassified them that clearly shows the Saudi government helped its citizens who were accused of serious crimes in this country evade justice, flee the country, including a man here in the Portland area who was accused of manslaughter in the hit-and-run death of Fallon Smart. She was just 15 years old. That was a few years ago. What do you want the Trump administration to do with this information?
First, I want people to know a little bit of the backstory. I worked for months and months to get this declassified. It was clear. The moment I found this document, I said, this is information that Oregonians have a right to have. I got a bill passed. So today the FBI told me 2 really remarkable things. First, they have with high confidence the view that the Saudi government helped this individual get out of Oregon. Second, they said that it's their view that if the Trump administration and government doesn't get tough now, it will happen again and again and again. So what I'm going to be pushing for is for the Trump administration to step up. The Saudis are supposed to be our allies. Well, that's fine, but they're not above the law, and I'm going to make sure that this administration pushes now to protect the people of Oregon and our country.
I have to ask you about Iran because you're on the Senate Intelligence Committee. From the evidence that you've seen, from what you know, do you think that there was enough evidence for the president to call for this drone attack on the Iranian general Soleimani, and he was killed, assassinated? Do you think that was justified?
Let me talk intelligence speak here for a moment and protect classified information. I will just tell you, and Oregonians, I do not believe that the Trump administration made the case that the threat was imminent.
Okay, well, where do you think we stand right now with Iran?
Well, right now, it seems that both sides are trying to gauge the other's strategy. My hope would be that you look, for example, at the president. The president's comments have not made it worse. But what we've got to do is get on with the strategy of bringing together allies and others for a long-term solution.
Before we go, I have to let people know that you do have town hall meetings coming up tomorrow, one in McMinnville, one in Wilsonville. What do you think is going to be top of mind?
Impeachment.
You'll hear a lot about that.
And prescription drugs. Senator Grassley and I have a bipartisan bill to stop the pharmaceutical price gouging. I think tomorrow we'll hear about impeachment and prescription drugs, plenty other things.
So if you want to go to the town hall, the senator has all the information, and you can see it there on our screen, all the information on your website, Wilsonville and McMinnville tomorrow. Senator Wyden, always a pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here.